Suspension works until it doesn't. This old girl here has been through a few wars. It's added some weight. So today, we're going to go with a full Dobinson suspension setup. We're going to talk you through why we're doing it, how we're doing it, and most importantly, if you should do it. So the reason we're doing it for this Landcruiser, so over the years, there's been a lot more weight added in the back of this, and it's actually, this back right-hand driver spring has collapsed a bit, and everything's getting tired, and it's sagging, and it's really not riding very well. So Baz took the opportunity when he was at the 4x4 show in Brisbane a couple of weeks ago to get a full new Dobinson setup, springs all round and a couple of new shockeys in the back. And because we were always doing Landcruiser 79 stuff, which is leafs at the back, we thought it was a really good opportunity to show you how to do a normal coil spring in the back. So bit of a how-to, and also we're going to measure this and see, because there was a 4-inch lift kit in this already. So we'll bring it back down off the hoist, we'll measure it, put the new 4 in and see how much that old 4-inch has sagged over the years. So let's just see, I'm going to measure from the center of the hubs to underneath the front guard. All right, so what we've come up with is the car's actually not even sitting level. So the front left is 640 and the front right is 618. So there's 20 mil difference between left and right. And the back left is 600 and the back right is 585. So there's 15 mil. So it seems like it's sitting down to the right, front and back. So that would explain the collapsed spring on the driver's side. So anyway, those are the numbers. Let's put the new stuff in and we can compare it. Suspension upgrade isn't one of those bolt on and go situations because it's too important. It's very critical that you do this right because it'll provide better handling, better ride quality and better longevity if you take your time and do it right. Now, the first thing we want to do, step one, is we want to loosen all the suspension bolts on the ground, which we've already done, just so when it's up on the hoist, you're not having to refat it and put extra stress and strain on all the suspension components. If you find they're really, really tight, put some penetration oil in there, some WD-40, some whatever else you've got, and let it sit for 20 minutes, half an hour. It'll really help just to get rid of those bolts that crack them open for the first time, and then you can undo the rest of them when it's up on the hoist.
So we're going to start with the front suspension, and the first thing we need to do is support the front axle with a jack. Unbolt the shocks to let down the axle. When lowering the axle, just make sure the brake lines aren't being stretched because that could damage them and cause leaks. We then remove the springs. Now the driver's side came out easy in this case, but the passenger side required some spring compressors in order to shrink them enough to get them out. You can really see the height difference here of how much the old suspension has sagged. So putting it all back in again, it's basically the opposite of when we took it all out, but we'll definitely need to use the spring compressors to help get the bigger ones in.
So with the front springs in, that's the front end done. So Baz has actually replaced the front shocks about 6 months ago, so that's why he's not doing these today. But the shockeys are, they're a bolt-in item too. But with the front down, we'll put the wheels back on and we'll get working on the back, which is a little more complicated, and we're putting shocks in there too. Right, so now we're at the back. So the thing to do here is, when we loosen the shocks off, it's going to allow the coils to come out. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the shocks out. We're all holding it up with this transfer jack. Drop the coils out, the old ones. Then take the shocks off, then we're going to put the new coils in, and finally put the new shocks in. So that's going to be the order we're going to do it in today. So the thing to bear in mind is, when dropping the back suspension down, there's going to be a limiting factor that's going to stop, because when you put it on a hoist, at some point the wheel is going to stop traveling. Now that could be anything to do, the shock could be the shortest thing, it could be the limiting factor, it could be the rear arm, it could be a lot of things. Obviously, if you've got a longer shock in, it's not going to be that's going to be the limiting factor. It'll be some other component in the car. But whatever the limiting factor is, at some point the travel is going to stop. So then we're going to jack that up, take the shock out, so everything's not under pressure as we're taking it out.
In this case, we had just enough wriggle room to work with, and we didn't need to unbolt any of the control arms or sway bars. The bolts in the top of these shocks were really stubborn to get out and were seized, so we had to use a fair bit of WD to try and get them loose to get them out. Now that the shocks are out, we can do what we did at the front and just remove the springs. These were really easy to remove because they had sagged so much, as you can see.
All right, last spring's out. I can't pretend I took it out, but I didn't. I'm just taking the glory at the end. Next job is to put the new springs in. We will have to probably spring compress it to get them back in again, and then put the shocks back in, and that should be, on the face of it, everything done.
While the suspension is out, it's a really good opportunity to just inspect everything, the bushings, bump stops, and just make sure everything's okay. So after we had compressed the new springs, we just still needed a little bit more room to put the new ones in. So it was a team effort. One of us got in and pulled the axle down just to give it extra bit to get the springs in place.
Ooh, just sitting watching, why not? Both springs are in, so I guess it's a good point to talk about what a spring does and what a shock does. We could lower this, we could put the tires on now, lower the car down, and it would drive. Now, the thing is, as soon as you go over a bump, it would bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce for about 20 minutes. With the shock, what that's going to do is dampen that spring down, so when the wheel does go up, the spring will want to push it back down again, but the shock will stop it bouncing. It literally dampens the spring, so the spring can work, but the shock stops it bouncing too much. And these shocks that were in the back were absolutely shot, so that's why the car was bouncing a lot like an old boat on a rough sea. The new shock will stop that. It will make it feel a lot more planted on the road. It'll be more predictable to drive on and off road, and the ride quality will be so much nicer.
When it came to the new shocks, before we could put them in the car, we had to prep them by removing the holding clasp and bolting on the hardware from the old suspension. After the shocks were bolted up to the top, we just had to push the leg cylinder back up in so it could fit the new bushing and bolt it all up. And with that done on both sides, that is the suspension and the shocks installed in the rear.
Everything's installed. It's taken us 17 hours. It's actually now Wednesday night. There was 2 bolts in there that Baz couldn't get because he was using bad tools. He switched on to a good tool, went straight in. So buy good tools and you have no problems. Anyway, everything's in. Now we're going to drop it down. We're going to take some measurements, and then that's pretty much it done. If our maths is right, the front left's gone up 20 mil. The back left's gone up 55 mil. The back right's gone up 55 mil. And the front right's gone up, can I borrow your fingers, Jetta? 27 mil. So the front left went up 20, this one up 27. That was because it was sloping down to the right a bit, so that's actually leveled everything up.
Plus this is probably not super accurate.
No, but it'll be close. You just need a small ladder now to get in. Now let's bear in mind, this is a 4-inch lift that's gone into this, but it was a 4-inch lift as well. So we were swapping like from like. When you go above about 2 inches, everything starts changing. You got to get extended brake lines. You got to get new radius arms. You got to get new upper control arms, lower control arms, panhead rods, tie rods. Everything, the diffs tend to move around a bit when you go a bit higher. So anything above a 2-inch lift becomes expensive, and it becomes, all the geometry does mess up. So you got to get it back to where it was from factory by using all the different longer bits that you can get. So if you are doing a 2-inch lift and it's your first time, that's probably okay, but anything above that, please do your research, because it is going to change a lot about the vehicle. So suspension isn't just really about lift, it's more about handling, the confidence off-road, confidence on-road, and in this case it's helping to fix that saggy back end that was there because there's been a lot more weight put in now. It's definitely fixed that. It has fixed the left to right lateral imbalance too. It's now sitting very level. So all in all, job well done. So now that it's back on the ground, it's time to torque everything up to spec, and that saves all the bushes being worn prematurely, and everything we know is going to be nice and safe. Now, Baz will drive this for 100, 200 Ks and bring it back in and tighten everything up, make sure everything's still tight, because it will probably wriggle itself loose a little bit while it's bedding itself in. And we might even check the ride height again then, because let's just lift it down. We haven't driven it anywhere. It will settle, so it probably will come down a bit. So when that happens, we'll recheck it and make sure that everything's as it is still. But in the meantime, suspension is a serious thing. If you're not confident about doing it yourself, don't do it. Take it to a professional. But if you do think you can do it, take your time, make sure it's done right, and suspension will be a lot better at the end of it. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please do remember to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.